I want to tell you something, though. Just let me share with you a quick little story. Last fall, Tonette and I had a chance. I was going to a Governors Association meeting, and we had a chance to travel to Philadelphia, and I went to Independence Hall. As a kid, we grew up in a small town where I loved to study history, but my parents, we didn't have a lot of money, and so we didn't get to often go to places like Philadelphia or Washington. So for me, it was the first trip to Independence Hall. And I got to tell you, I was so touched. I stood in there and I looked at those desks and I looked in those chairs. And even though as a kid growing up, I thought of our founders as superheroes, as bigger than life, standing in that hall, it dawned on me that these were ordinary people who did something quite extraordinary. They didn't just risk their political careers. They didn't just risk their businesses. They literally risked their lives for the freedom we hold so dear today, and the men and women in uniform in this country defend every single day. Moments like that remind me why America and why Wisconsin are so great. You see, what has made our country unbelievable, what has made the United States of America exceptional, what has made the United States arguably one of the greatest countries in the history of the world, is that in times of crisis, be they economic or fiscal, be they military or spiritual, in times of crisis, what has made America amazing has been the fact that throughout our history, throughout the more than 200 years of our history, there have been men and women of courage who stood up and decided it was more important to look out for the future of their children and their grandchildren than their own political futures. And what has sustained them? What has sustained them here in Wisconsin, across our country, has been when there have been leaders of courage. What has sustained them is there were good and decent people who stood with them shoulder to shoulder and arm to arm. That's what you have done for Wisconsin and for America. Tonight we tell Wisconsin, we tell our country, and we tell people all across the globe that voters really do want leaders who stand up and make the tough decisions. But now it is time to move on and move forward in Wisconsin. Tomorrow I'll meet with my cabinet in the state's capital, and we'll renew our commitment to help small businesses grow jobs in the state. We'll renew our commitment to help grow the quality of life for all of our citizens, both those who voted for me and those who voted for someone else. Because tomorrow is the day after the election. And tomorrow, we are no longer opponents. Tomorrow, we are one as Wisconsinites. So together, we can move Wisconsin forward. A few minutes ago, I talked to Mayor Tom Barrett. No. The election is over. I talked to the mayor, and we had a good talk, and I said, I'm committed to working with you to help the city of Milwaukee and to help the state of Wisconsin. Tomorrow, the election is over. It's time to move Wisconsin forward. I've learned much over the last year and a half. There's no doubt about it. You know, early in 2011, I rushed in to try and fix things before I talked about them. Because you see, for years, too many politicians I'd seen, not only in Madison, but in Washington and beyond, talked about things but never fixed them. Well, but I want to tell you, looking ahead, we know it's important to do both. Looking ahead to tackle the challenges that face all of the people of Wisconsin, we're both going to be committed to talking together about how to solve problems, and then working together, we're going to move forward with the solutions that put our state back on the right track towards more freedom and more prosperity for all of our people. Bringing our state together will take some time. There's just no doubt about it. But I want to start out right away. In fact, next week I'm going to invite all the members of the state legislature, Republican and Democrat alike. And what better way to bring people together than invite them over for some brats and some burgers, right? And maybe a little bit of good Wisconsin beer as well. Because I believe there is more that unites us than divides us. I believe that now the election is done, we can move on and we can move forward. I believe that for the sake of our children and our grandchildren, now is the time for us to come together, to tackle the challenges that face our small businesses, to tackle the challenges that face our families and our businesses and our seniors and all the people who care about the future of this state. Now is the time to move forward. And I got to tell you, I'm committed to it. I'm committed not just to all of you here, I'm committed to everybody back at home, whether you voted for me or not. I'm committed because for me, the most important reason I ran for governor 2 years ago, the most important reason I was willing to make the tough decisions, and the most important reason why I'm committed to work with anyone and everyone in this state who wants to help move this state forward are the two young men standing on the stage back behind me.